The richest man in history, worth $2.5 trillion, discovered that even unlimited wealth means nothing if you're trapped in the wrong frequencies. And today, we'll uncover the three frequencies that blocked him so that abundance feels as natural as breathing in your life. And the first deadly frequency is the frequency of neediness. And the person we're talking about is King Solomon. The frequency of neediness is very interesting because it makes you believe that you need to achieve more in order to be more. It tells you, your ego whispers in your mind through your feelings, that you need to accumulate more wealth, more riches, and more money in order to feel maybe good enough, maybe worthy, maybe acknowledged. But it's never enough. And so you chase, you hustle, and you burn yourself out. Because in the deepest belief, where you operate from the frequency of neediness, you're telling yourself that you can't be abundant now because you're still lacking something in the present moment. And if you're lacking something in the present moment, then how can you expect abundance to flow into your life effortlessly? Not only through material wealth, but in all areas of your life. Abundance cannot flow to you if you're telling abundance and if you're telling yourself, I'm still lacking something, and that's why I need to chase. And that's exactly what happened to Solomon. He received the gift of wisdom and wealth from God, and he accumulated so many riches, and he had an amazing initial transformation. But then he fell into this trap, into this frequency of neediness. And it was deadly because it was literally destroying or sucking the life force out of him and out of you and out of me and whoever falls into this trap. I want you to understand that every single deadly frequency is an energetic parasite that is trying to take away your life force, is depleting your energy, and that's why you burn out or you hustle and you're feeling stress, is because your ego is in control and it's in charge through this frequency. And that's why you need to break free, because we need to take our power back, our energy back, and our attention back. And we can be wealthy and rich, and that's amazing. Okay, no one is saying that money is evil, but we must be abundant first within ourselves to be also truly abundant outside. Because when I'm abundant within, when I know that I can allow myself to be whole in the here and now, just because I exist, then I'm going to beat this opponent and I'm going to level up in the game. And that's why Solomon wrote that whoever just loves money, whoever just loves wealth is never satisfied, never has enough. It doesn't mean that money is bad. It means if you're just chasing it because you want a feeling of love, validation, and joy, then you will be trapped for your whole life in this neediness frequency. And if I'm speaking plainly, we don't deserve to live that way. It's not in our birthright, it's not in our DNA and in our blueprint to live in a life of neediness. Because another example is, if let's say that I'm going out and I want to meet a girl, a beautiful girl. If I'm needy, if I'm doubting myself, if I radiate that frequency and that energy of neediness, she's gonna pick it up. Just the same way that if you're a girl or woman and you're trying to go and date a man, and you go out and you just seem needy, like people will notice that. What do you think happens? They back away. The same way with money, the same way with everything in life. When you're needy, you repel. When you attract, you magnetize. That's why we must beat it. The second frequency that's deadly for the flow of abundance in your life is unworthiness. This one hits deep in my heart, and I know for all of us is the same. So your ego tricks you into believing, into living through this frequency by telling you this root cause that I've identified. I'm still not good enough to deserve this. I'm still not good enough to deserve this wealth. I'm still not good enough to deserve these large sums of money. I'm still not good enough to have a successful business and be at peace and have a lot of freedom. I need more. I need more certifications. I need more clients. I need more money. I need to be more successful before I can allow abundance in. And you see how, again, it negates the flow of abundance now. And that's how it keeps us in the hamster wheel. It's crazy. And it says, I can't be abundant now because I'm still unworthy. And that's what we tell ourselves. And what we tell ourselves is our perception. And through our perception, we create emotion. And emotion and perception creates reality. That's the formula. So if I perceive myself to be unworthy now, how can you expect the greatest riches and abundance that are your birthright to flow into your life if you're still believing that you're unworthy? And this even happens after you've accumulated a lot of money. I have a lot of clients who are already making 6-7 figures a year. And when we work together, they still feel this deeper seated frequency or pattern of, I still don't really trust myself at a deep level, JP. I still don't know how to lead myself or how to lead my clients. I have to get to the next milestone. And so if I have a client that is doing $100,000 a month and they want to get to $200,000 a month, they experience this trap of unworthiness where they don't acknowledge their greatness in the here and now. And if you're that person, I want you to stop and acknowledge your greatness now. Like, look at everything you've built. Look at who you are. Just that inner realization that you exist, that there's sacredness in your heart, is enough to feel worthy and deserving of all the best. And we can keep achieving milestones. We can reach those 200K a month, 300K a month, whatever it might be, but do it from a place of wholeness, of I am whole and worthy now, and I'm not chasing that goal to prove to myself that I'm worthy. I am worthy now, and I am doing that out of joy, out of service, out of purpose. You see how that shift is everything. That's an insane revelation that I've had in my own life that I share with my clients, and it's amazing. And I have an amazing newsletter called True Self Revelations that you can sign up below. It's my private newsletter. It's free, and every single week I share a revelation that you can apply immediately to your business to manifest more peace, more purpose, and more profit. Link in the description to sign up. Now, what is the truth here in the second deadly frequency of unworthiness? The truth is that your worth is never determined by your achievements, your certifications, or your accomplishments. And you can crash again and again and again against this wall, just the same way that I did, until you realize that you are worthy of abundance simply by being. What if abundance is part of my true nature? Okay, yes, the ego in me might say that I'm still lacking something, but what if my true self, what if my heart, what if my soul, what if my essence already knows that abundance is part of my nature? It's a natural quality that I deserve and that you have to be willing to claim for yourself. For example, I remember that I moved to Bali in 2020. And I had this mindset back in the day that I needed to be Mr. Perfect and Mr. Habit and Mr. Morning Routine. And every single day when I lived in Bali, I would have a checklist of a 2 or 3 hour routine where every single day I would meditate, every single day I would do breath work, every single day I would journal. And I did this for literally 45, 90 days. I remember having streaks where I had meditated for like 90 days straight. And in the beginning, I fell in love with the morning routines. I loved it. I felt so amazing. But then it became a trap. Then my ego hijacked that beautiful practice, and I started to believe that if I didn't do that 2 or 3 hour morning routine, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't productive, that I didn't do what I had to do. And so I would beat myself up. I would reject myself. I would speak very, very criticizing of myself, judgmental, angry, literally angry. And I wouldn't give myself love or acceptance. Until one day, I was doing yoga in my house. And I sit there and I realize, like, wait a moment, JP, like, I've been looking for self-love. That was my big thing. I was like, I really want self-love. I want to really feel it. I know it's going to help me so much. And as I'm sitting there after the practice, I realized that all of these things, I was doing them because I loved myself. And in that moment, there was this inner joy, this inner feeling, this rush of energy. And I started to go to my bathroom and I saw myself in the mirror and I started smiling. And I feel that in that moment, I broke free from that frequency of unworthiness, because I realized that it was not even the habits that made me love myself. It was simply my devotion to expanding, being a better person, being a better human being, and taking care of myself, taking care of my health, taking care of my mind, eating healthy. I was already doing so many acts of self-love, but because I was so focused on why I didn't have it, on why I needed to do so many habits to prove my worth, that I couldn't even see that I was already in love with myself, that I was already worthy of my own love. That is the greatest realization. I was already worthy of my own love, and I saw myself in the mirror. I started smiling. I started laughing and crying and dancing and singing. And all of this inner judgment and inner rejection that I had for years and decades just started to be released, and tears came off and laughter. And it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I'm sharing it with you because that was my true self taking charge of my life, taking me back to the truth. Because this deadly frequency of unworthiness can be very detrimental until you realize that you can allow yourself to be worthy of your own love now. Now. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter what you're going to do in the future. It doesn't matter your accolades, your race, your religion. Can you just sit in silence? Can you just sit in space and contemplate that the love that you've been seeking, that the abundance that you've been seeking has been within you all along? And can I sit and rejoice and be in gratitude and cry from that inner realization? And if I can, then I can beat this opponent of unworthiness. Let's move on to the third deadly frequency: self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is a really deep one. And the root cause says that I need to sacrifice. Okay? I need to work hard. I need to struggle to allow abundance to flow in. Look at how crazy that is. There is a price to pay to be rich and wealthy. I can't be abundant now because I have to earn it. That's what your ego says. And that's what society tells you. And so unconsciously, we have just accepted these rules. Are these rules actually true? It depends on what you want to believe, because we must understand that your belief in a thing is what gives it life. Your belief in something, in anything, is the ultimate authority of your life. So if you tell me, JP, yes, that's how everybody has done it, you need to earn it, you need to struggle, you need to work hard, then you will create that reality. But if you believe that it doesn't have to be that way, I'm not saying that some days you will have to work maybe long hours, but what I'm trying to express here is the need to self-sacrifice, the need to overwork ourselves, the need to be addicted to constantly be working and building and growing the business and prioritizing that over our own health and well-being. Well, you tell me if that's not a deadly frequency, because it can lead to a very, very bad place. It can lead to dis-ease. Okay? It can lead to so many things. And so hopefully I'm expressing how important it is for you to no longer allow yourself to be governed by this frequency. Start taking your power back through your mind, through your presence. Okay? The truth about sacrifice is that we believe that nothing is free. But in scripture and in reality, what if you don't have to earn abundance? What if you don't have to earn money? What if you are inherently worthy of it because you exist? So you see how I'm challenging the common notion that is probably very deep-seated in you, where you need to achieve and be productive in order to receive. Does that feel natural to you? If you're honest with yourself, the answer will be no. It doesn't feel natural. It feels almost like you're forcing, almost like you're putting on a mask, almost like you are having to play a role that you know does not naturally align with your blueprint. You don't need any more proof. Okay? Isaiah 55, it says, "Come and drink. Come and eat without the cost, without the money." This is a message to your deeper essence, to your soul. The works are done. What if all it took was for you to beat consciously these three opponents, for you to receive all the inner and outer abundance and the flow of riches and opulence that you have been desiring? What if it's not the universe, but you who must discipline yourself to break free from the control of these deadly frequencies that are controlled by your ego? What if it's all a journey for you to come back to your true self? Because the deeper truth is that abundance is not defined by what you have. It's not something you ever achieve. Abundance is the recognition of your true self, the eternal one. Okay? The eternal one that lives within you. Abundance is a state of being that you give yourself permission to feel and be when you finally realize who your true self is. Because your true self is one with God. That's why Jesus said the kingdom is not out there, it's within you. You are the temple of the Most High living God. You and God are no longer separate. That's what your ego believes, but your true self knows that you are one with the source of life, that you are one with all the source of abundance and wealth in the universe, because God is the source of all wealth and abundance in the universe. And redefine God from something out there in the heavens, judging, to something that lives within you as the source of all your life and your manifestations. And you will realize that if the two of you are one, if I and the Father are one, but it's the Father who does the work. The Father is your consciousness, your awareness is called the I am presence. And if I sit in contemplation of that truth, if I close my eyes and just give thanks to that source of life, if I give thanks to life, if I give thanks to this source of abundance, then I can start walking before my reality changes, before more abundance flows in, and I can realize that to feel and contemplate this fact is the true definition of abundance. And it will reveal from within yourself just how wealthy, rich, and abundant you are right now. And everything else in your reality is a byproduct of this. Now you have the full blueprint for conscious self-mastery, but there's a missing piece that no one really talks about, and this is subconscious mastery, which is one of my greatest passions. Because once you combine the conscious piece with the subconscious, you truly become limitless. Subconscious mastery is where you systematically clear the deepest programs and beliefs that are stuck in your nervous system and in your subconscious that could be limiting your ability to attract and multiply and expand your wealth and your abundance. And after 7 years, I've developed a specific framework proprietary to us that allows you to systematically purify and clear these deep layers that are not accessible through meditations and visualizations. You have to do an actual subconscious clearing. And most people never even address this level, which is why, myself included, for many years, things weren't really working out because I didn't know how to bridge what I knew here and embody it here. This is the missing piece and gap that I see for myself and my clients. So how do we actually do this? You need to integrate the subconscious aspect. And if you're ready to master this subconscious level, then I can empower you in 2 different ways. The first one is the 30-day wealth expansion challenge, which every day you go and invest 10 minutes only and you listen to a profound subconscious clearing that I've recorded for every single day, different areas, systematically clearing more and more weights, more and more things from the past, more and more blocks, so that abundance feels way more natural and there's not this constant battle against your ego. And the second one is, if you are an entrepreneur who is wanting to do a bigger impact, and you already have a business, you already have your clients, and you want to get to the next level from consciousness, from this new paradigm, instead of from the old paradigm of lack and survival, then there's a link below where we can explore how we can work together and how I can help you reach that and support you along the way. The links are in the description. Go and check them out and take action on this insane opportunity. And on the other side, you won't even recognize how much expansion and abundance you can create when you combine the conscious and the subconscious aspect. And that's the full mastery. Much love. I'll see you on the next one.